Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2000 Lotus 340R. So this is a special edition of the Series 1 Elise, which was produced between 1996 and 2001. We already have one version of that car on this game already, the Sport 190. And yeah, like that car, this has a close ratio 5-speed gearbox, but unlike that car, this has a custom built body shell. And its tyres were developed in conjunction with Yokohama specifically for this car. So yeah, it's got some really rather serious rubber to help keep this car on the ground. And it's also got a custom front splitter, a custom front, rear spoiler, a custom rear diffuser, all of which is made for this car, as well as a body shell, which yeah means you have no roof and no doors. But yeah, it does help keep the weight down on this car. Now granted, it is 8 pounds heavier than the Sport 190, while having slightly less in the way of power and torque, but the handling and braking are much improved on this car. And yeah, it is generally a quicker car around a track on a lap by lap basis. It's not probably going to be quicker than in a straight line or in terms of top speed, but it is generally quicker when it comes to handling overall. So yeah, will it let us get us in the car? Just wanted to show off. Yes, it will. Just won't let us get in the passenger seat. So as you can see, extremely basic in here. Again, all to keep the weight down. So yeah, you've got a few basic amenities like looks like some heater, and your lights and usual like that, but you've only got 2 dials, you've only got your hazard warning lights, and that's basically it. So yeah, extremely basic. Even the seats look wafer thin, as you can see, again to help keep the weight down. And overall this car is very light at 1,485 pounds, though granted 8 pounds heavier than the 190s, the Sport 190. That is still a really low amount of weight. And yeah, it's got a good amount of power going for it, as well as it's got a 1.8 litre inline 4, which is a Rover K series engine that produces 177 horsepower and 126 pounds-feet of torque. Now granted, that is about 13 horsepower less than the Sport 190. The 190 is where it gets its name from, because it's got that type of horsepower it's got. But it is at least a lot more than the 118 or so horsepower you'd get in the basic Series 1. So yeah, it's more powerful than that, and yeah, but at the end of the day, this is more about the handling and the braking, while also in terms of looks, looking really rather quite striking. So only 340 of these were ever built. Again, that's where it gets its name from. Even though it is a road legal car in the UK, these are mostly now used as track weapons, because as you'd expect, with very little weight, easily customizable engine, these are really rather quite a good car on the track. But regardless, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. Right, so even though speed and general acceleration aren't the main plus points to this car, it is still a decently quick car in a straight line. So let's see what it can do on this drag strip, and then we'll go around the track. So yeah, it's quite a pretty potent car off the line, so let's see what it can do. But since it has quite a close ratio gearbox, it doesn't have the highest of top speeds, and obviously the horsepower is going to limit that in some regards as well. But as you can see, it's still able to get up to 112 miles an hour, which is fairly good. But like I said, this car's more about the handling and the braking and the general feel of the car. And yeah, it is a really good handling car, as you'll see once we get to the stats, before we get to the track itself. So yeah, nice high revving engine though, 8,000 RPM. It is only a 5-speed though, like I said, so close ratios and only being a 5-speed mean it doesn't have the highest of top speeds, but then you'll be getting close to that top speed around most corners because of how good the handling is on this. So yeah, let's take a look at the stats. So yeah, we're in top end of B class. I think this is the first time we've been top end of the class before. And yeah, these are the stats. So as you can see, the handling and the braking are superb. Acceleration is decent. Launch is a little bit tricky at times because it is rear wheel drive. It doesn't have very much in the way of weight, so traction can be a little bit iffy sometimes off the line, but you know, it's decent enough, and so is the top speed. Now I can't show you a massively comparative side by side with the Series 1, as yeah, the Series 1 is slightly higher in terms of PI, but as you can see, the handling and braking is lower. So in terms of handling and braking, this car is better, but the speed and acceleration, as you can see, are a lot higher on this 190, and the launch is the same. So yeah, not massive differences though. It's still a more than capable car in terms of straight line performance. It's just that its priorities have been aligned more to the handling and the braking over everything else, and yeah, that's something it really will excel at. So yeah, but as per usual, let's hear what the car sounds like first, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, fairly decent sounding engine, but the Rover K series has never been the best sounding engine ever going. Thankfully, it's something that Lotus dropped back quickly in favour of the likes of engines from Toyota. But still, it is a fairly decently powerful engine, and yeah, it gets this car from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, which is not too shabby for a 23-year-old car. 0 to 100 in 12.481 seconds, and it goes to a top speed of 132 miles an hour. If this did have more of the power of the Sport 190 with maybe an extra gear, this would be a far quicker vehicle, granted, but it's still a fairly slant car overall. And coincidentally, we're going up against a Series 1 in terms of the Ghost rivals as well. Not quite sure how it's gotten into this class, given it is an A-class car, but yeah, this is still a really, really fantastic car in terms of how it drives. It's really agile. It's got so little in the way of weight, you don't really even notice that it's got any weight at all. And yeah, the braking is superb because of how little weight it's got, but also because of those superb Yokohama tyres, which really do make a difference in this car over the Series 1. That is the main difference between those two cars. But obviously it's also got plenty in the way of downforce due to that additional spoiler, the front spoiler splitter as well, and the rear diffuser to go on top of all of that as well. So yeah, not only is it a striking looking car with its open wheel you know, bodywork and whatnot, but it's able to back that up. It's not, you know, just a fake looking race car. It's also able to back up its open wheel looks with, you know, proper sports car, race car handling and braking. So yeah, overall a really, really fun car. It's not the quickest car by any means, but you'll be mostly able to keep up the speed that it is able to generate due to the superb handling and braking. So yeah, overall a really nice car to drive. Brilliant track weapon. I'm not sure if this is on the new Forza Motorsport game, but quite frankly it should be. But nonetheless, you can get this in the festival playlist that is currently up for 20 points, and it is well worth getting. So get out there and get it if you haven't already. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.